me just say, they are both assigned male at birth, they're both white, they're both able-bodied, they're intelligent, they've got a full knapsack of privileges. So if gender confusion is a small price to pay for social progress, gender confusion is a small price to pay for social progress. Gender confusion is a small price to pay for social progress.
Do you understand he's talking about his 5-year-old child or whatever, you know? Do you grasp what this man is saying? He doesn't care about his kid being gender dysphoric. He don't give a crap. As long as he wants people to accept him is all it is. It's all about him. I didn't need people to accept me, even though everyone accepts him. No one gives a crap that you're non-binary. No one was looking at you when you were at the store. You're a liar. It was on camera. There were 30 people on camera, you idiot. But he's so crazy. That just shows how crazy he is. Because he was on camera with 30 people. No one was even looking at in his direction. Not one person. That one person that was walking by, which obviously they're going to look at. Everyone looks at the person they're walking by. If you didn't, you would run into them. Okay? That's common sense.
It sounds like from some of what you said, you're kind of trying to bring them up with an antidote for the amount of privilege they've been born with.
I don't want to strip them of their unearned privilege. I think a lot of the social problems we have in the world are down to the streaming that we force boys this way and girls this way. Some of us have escaped those systems of regulation.
It's not a system of regulation. Everybody wants to 999,000, or actually 9,999,999 people out of 10 million. They want to be just a regular boy or a girl. You know, you're the 1 in 10 million. Okay, don't act like society doesn't whatever. Society revolves around you people, even though you're only 1 out of 10 million. You have so much privilege, it's unreal.
After my time in Sweden, I found that while adults have strong ideas about gender, Mika and kids their age are still working out what gender means to them. But if kids would truly be given room to explore gender on their own terms,
then no one will have gender, and there will be no rules. See, that's the thing. You have a society based on rules, okay? That doesn't mean that you can't be gay or you can't be trans. It just means if you are that, be that. But if you're not that, then get on board with society, okay? And society needs families, okay? Normal families, not triplets where you got 3 parents and they're all non-binary, etc., etc.
Gender confusion is a small price to pay for social progress. Gender confusion is a small price to pay for social progress.
This is the U.S. House Committee hearing.
Thank you for your testimony. The chair now recognizes Dr. Grossman for 5 minutes for your opening statement.
Thank you for the opportunity to address you. My name is Miriam Grossman. I am a board-certified child, adolescent, and adult psychiatrist, author, and senior fellow at Do No Harm. I have been taking care of patients for 45 years. I'm going to use my time to respond to Dr. McNamara. First, I'm struck by her use of the phrase, sex assigned at birth. Sex is not assigned at birth. Sex is established at conception, and it's recognized at birth, if not earlier. Dr. McNamara claims that her views are science-based, but to claim that sex is assigned at birth is without any scientific basis whatsoever. Its language misleads people, especially children, into thinking that male and female are arbitrary designations and can change. That is simply not true. Dr. McNamara claims that social and medical interventions are the only evidence-based treatment and that scientific evidence shows it is life-saving. Without it, she's warning us, kids will commit suicide. Well, A growing number of countries have effectively banned the care to which she's referring. And thank God there's been no wave of suicides or other mental health catastrophes. 3 years ago, Finland placed strict limitations on medical interventions for minors. Sweden did the same thing after a 14-year-old girl was found to have osteoporosis and spinal fractures from puberty blockers. An investigation concluded, quote, the risks of anti-puberty and hormone treatment for those under 18 currently outweigh the possible benefits. The UK conducted a review and called the evidence very low. They've also placed severe restrictions on the care that Dr. McNamara calls life-saving. Norway also analyzed the data and has made similar changes in policy. The National Academy of Medicine in France warned, quote,
keep in mind, all this stuff starts over in the East, like Germany, Switzerland, Denmark, and it moves over more and more towards Spain and Italy, then goes out to Australia and the UK, and then comes to us in the US and Canada and Mexico. See, they started 2 years earlier than us with this trans thing, this trans religion. Okay, that's why they've already banned it, and we're in the process of waking up because we're 2 years later, just like the border and everything else.
Quote, great medical caution must be taken in children and adolescents given the vulnerability of this population and the many undesirable, even serious complications the therapies cause. Doctors in New Zealand and Australia have published similar statements. Is Dr. McNamara suggesting that all these countries are rejecting evidence-based treatment and placing their kids at risk of suicide? Regarding that point of view, Finland's gender expert, Dr. Rita Kaltiela, said, quote, it's purposeful disinformation, the spreading of which is irresponsible. All 7 countries, and Florida too, of course, concluded that kids don't need their development interrupted, the girls don't need their periods stopped and their voices lowered, and the boys don't need to grow breasts. What they need is psychotherapy. I have other objections to Dr. McNamara's testimony. She insists that her position, only hers, represents standard medical care. What she doesn't want you to know is that there is no standard. There's a debate. There's a fierce debate. And on the side opposite her stand such prominent figures as Stephen Levine, Kenneth Zucker, Paul McHugh, and James Cantor, among others. These doctors are giants in the field.
This is the same way with the climate crisis. I could show you 100 videos where all the top scientists that are climatologists, 100% of them are saying we need to add CO2 into the atmosphere, not take it out. And it's not causing, it's all a hoax, you know what I mean? And they all scream at the top of their lungs, and these are not in colleges because colleges don't allow them to talk, right? These are just things where actual other climatologists come and listen to him talk, right? The guys that are the foremost, best, whatever, right? And all the climatologists in the thing, in the audience, when that guy, the talker, the speaker says, they censor us, they won't let us talk, they blah blah blah. All the climatologists, 100% of them were clapping. Yeah, I know what you mean. They're lying. It's a big hoax. It's a big hoax. But because we have these activists pretending to be doctors, they're the only ones given a voice on TV and on this and that. That's why their voice is heard.
They have been treating transgender patients and gathering data and publishing papers about them, and I mean no disrespect here, but since before Dr. McNamara was born. The point is that those veteran clinicians and others who have wisdom and experience are ignored because they disagree with the current narrative. They're against medical interventions for the same reason those 7 countries are. There is no evidence of long-term benefit, but there is evidence of harm. I'll end by quoting Jamie Reed, the courageous whistleblower from the Children's Gender Clinic in St. Louis. I believe that hospital receives the medical education funding that we're discussing today. She said that doctors at that clinic said, "We are building the plane while we are flying it." We are building the plane while we are flying it. That's how they described the treatment at their gender clinic. Our precious tax dollars should not support such a perilous experiment.
Certainly I am here today as the mother of a proud trans man. I am here today as the aunt of a proud trans man. My best friend's kid is trans, and his best friend is trans.
So her daughter is trans and identifies as a male. Her niece is trans. Her best friend's child is trans. Her child's best friend is trans. That should all be pretty much statistically impossible, except, as we know, social contagion and the influence of parents plays a big part in this movement. Let's hear what else Cynthia had to say, and it's worth noting that she has been a massive pro-Palestinian activist. How does she think her trans kid would go in Gaza? Not very good, Cynthia.
My trans kid had his top surgery at NYU a number of years ago. Wow. His doctors were fantastic. New York is better than this. NYU should be better than this.
Guess who created NYU? That's right, a royal.
That's a new low, isn't it? A mother celebrating her daughter having her healthy breasts removed. Don't get fooled by the harmless sounding terminology. When she says top surgery, she means a double mastectomy.
A child will often know that they are transgender from the moment that they have any ability to express themselves, and parents will often tell us this. We have parents who tell us that their kids, they knew from the minute they were born practically, and actions like refusing to get a haircut or standing to urinate, trying to stand to urinate, refusing to stand to urinate, trying on siblings' clothing, playing with the quote opposite gender toys, things like that. There is more and more a group of adolescents that we are seeing that really are coming to the realization that they might be trans or gender diverse a little bit later on in their life. So what we're seeing from them is that they always sort of knew something was maybe off and didn't have the understanding to know that they might be trans or have a different gender identity than the one they had been assigned. So that is a growing population that we are seeing, and that's being recognized as being trans and able to be treated.
When my second child was born, the doctor said she looked like a boy. So he gave her a boy's name and treated her like a boy. Until one day, she told us she wasn't a boy. She was a girl. Today, she wants to tell you her name. Happy name day to you.
Oh yeah, big birthday celebration because they're, gender, whatever, non-binary. Yep, it's all rewards and fun and playtime, pizza parties, cookies. But if you're not gender dysphoric, then you don't get no cake, no cookies, no birthday, no fireworks.
Happy name day, dear Edie. Happy name day to you. Hooray!
He has a long hair.
Dempsey is 9 years old and transgender.
About 18 months old, she was gender nonconforming. She never liked boy things, boy toys. She just always wanted things that were designated.
A year and a half, they just like toys. Actually, a year and a half, if you have kids, you know that if you give them a present, like at Christmas, they actually play with